G'day everybody, welcome to ETF Investing Australia. This is the weekly overview show where we'll be looking at the week ending on the 6th of September 2019. As always, we are looking at the Mighty Exchange Traded Funds on the ASX. Hello my little value hounds, this is Scott. I'm the guy that wants to crack your financial sky. I've been listening, I've been watching, and I know that there's a great majority of you guys out there that are scared to invest. Mainly because you think you're going to lose all your goddamn money. What I'm trying to do here is show you guys that it's not as hard as it looks. You know, I want to give you guys some more information and give you the courage to take those steps to create your own destiny effectively. So I hope that I can help you guys take that leap and start making, building your financial freedom and your financial future. Anyway, if you like what I'm doing and you think I'm adding some value to your life with these little videos, give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Greatly appreciated. Have a great day and let's invest and crack your sky. Okay, let's crack on into the ASX ETF's top performers for the last week. Top ETFs by 1 week total return. We're looking at here, number one position is the BetaShares Geared US Equity Fund Currency Hedge. The code there is ZYUS. We saw a total return of 4.1% for last week. Coming up there in the second position is BetaShares Strong Australian Dollar Hedge Fund. AUDS, that's a new one I think. I don't remember seeing that one before. BetaShares Australia Wisdom Tree Japan ETF Hedged. Code there is HJPN, up 2.7%, followed up closely by VanEck Vectors China AMC A Shares ETF. The code is CETF, up a 2.7%. Number 5 position here we can see BetaShares Crude Oil Index ETF Currency Hedge. The code is OOO, up 2.6% for the week. For those who've forgotten, ZYUS is the BetaShares Geared US Equity Fund Currency Hedge, as mentioned. That one provides investors with a simple way to obtain a cost-effective geared exposure to returns to the US market. That one has a market cap of roughly $26 million. Jumping across now to the top ETFs by 12-month total return, we are looking at BetaShares Geared Australian Equity Fund, code's GEAR, 12-month total return looking at 52.1%, followed up in the second position here of BetaShares Australia Geared US Equity Fund, currency hedge ZYUS, up 44.6%. Then VanEck Vectors Gold Miners ETF GDX, up 39.8%. That one's been hit a bit of late. BetaShares Global Gold Miners ETF Hedged MNRS, that one's up 39.4%, closely on the heels of GDX. Fifth position, we are looking at the VanEck Vectors China New Economy ETF, C News the code. 35.5% we saw a rise. So for those who've forgotten, GEAR is the BetaShares Geared Australian Equity Fund Hedged. That one tracks the S&P ASX 200. That one has a market cap of $79.2 million. Reasonable dividend of 5.09%. So casting our eye over now the ASX ETF Money Flows. Top ETF by 1 week flows, we're looking at the BetaShares Australia High Interest Cash ETF, AAA, up $44.1 million, or there was $44.1 million of inflows I should say. ETS Physical Gold, that we saw $39.5 million of inflows. BetaShares Active Australia Hybrid Fund HVST, we saw $12.6 million of inflows. iShares S&P ASX 200 ETF IOZ, we saw $12.1 million inflows. VanEck Vectors Australia floating rate ETF float. We saw $11 million of inflows for that ETF last week. Hopping across now to the top ETFs by year-to-date flows. Number one position here, which is no surprise. It's quite a popular one. We're looking at the BetaShares Australia High Interest Cash ETF. Saw year-to-date flows for that one of $484.1 million, followed up here closely by the Vanguard Australia Share Index ETF, which is VAS. We saw $416.8 million of inflows year-to-date. Vanguard Australia Fixed Interest Index VAF, we've seen inflows of $346.6 million. Vanguard MSCI Index International Series VGS, we've seen so far year to date $306.7 million. Number 5 position here, we're looking at the BetaShares Active Australia Hybrid Fund HBRD. We've seen year to date inflows of $276.4 million. Okay, let's cast over the ASX ETF Trading Volumes. Top ETFs by 1 week average daily turnover. We're looking at the State Street Spider S&P ASX 200 fund. The code there is STW. We saw a daily turnover here of 17.5 million. BetaShares Australia High Interest Cash ETF AAA, we've seen a turnover of 16.9 million. Vanguard Australia Index ETF VAS, we've seen a turnover, average weekly turnover of 12.1 million. BetaShares Australian Equity Strong Bear BBOZ, we're looking at the 1 week average daily turnover of 9.8 million. And the fifth position here, I should say, we're looking at iShares S&P ASX 200 ETF. Code of IOZ, we see a 1 week average daily turnover of $9.7 million. Hopping over now, we're looking at the top ETFs by year to date. Average daily turnover, it's a bit of a mouthful as always to get that one out. Number 1 position here, we're looking at the State Street Spider S&P ASX 200 fund, code STW, no surprises here. We're looking at a year-to-date average daily turnover of 14.4 million. BetaShares Australia High Interest Cash ETF AAA, looking at a identical turnover here, so they're neck and neck. Looking at $14.4 million year-to-date average daily turnover as well. Vanguard Australia Share Index ETF VAS, we're looking at a year-to-date average daily turnover of $11.4 million. 4th position, we're looking at the iShares Core S&P 500. The code there is IVV. Year-to-date average daily turnover of $6.9 million. The 5th position here, we're looking at the BetaShares Australia 200 ETF. The code of A200. Year-to-date average daily turnover of $6.7 million. So STW continues to be quite popular. Okay, let's just have a quick look at the highlights or a summary. Looking at pretty much Asian stocks were up, pretty much on the back of the action in Hong Kong. And also we've sort of seen a bit of a to and fro with the American-China trade deal. So that's kind of influenced a few bits and pieces that we've seen in the previous slides. We'll touch on that again as we go down. So HJPN, CETF and China New are all amongst weekly stock performers that we've seen in the previous slides. Domestic resources stocks also benefited with QRE and OZR both performing strongly. Gold retreated from recent highs with GLD down 2% for the week. Gold miners, ETFs, MNRS and GDX were the worst performing funds for the week. Silver also got a bit of a slap in the face with ETPMAG falling 3%. So a quick look at the total flows into domestic ETFs were 226 million, while we saw outflows of $22 million. So net flows of $204 million. The biggest flows were into AAA, gold, and a range of the other fixed interest, as we touched on before, HBRD, float, bill, coupon, IAF, and one that is new to me is QARO. As we touched on before, STW was the most traded fund last week, while BBOZ and gold saw above average volumes. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Hopefully it was informative, but still seeing a great influence from the trade discussions between the US and China. So until those things play out, I think it's still going to be 1 week up, 1 week down, and we're kind of just really holding on to wait and see what these guys finally sort out. Yeah, so this is our standard disclaimer. We're not promoting any particular product here, purely informational purposes to give you guys an overview on the market and what's happening. We always need to do our own research, so you don't want to be buying one product just because you've only looked at one product, and also, you need to take your own personal financial objectives into account, and where needed, get additional advice from a professional. Hey, thanks for taking the time and sticking around to the end of the video. I enjoy producing these videos for you guys. I actually learn a lot of information myself. It keeps me up to date with what's happening in the market. If you like what I'm doing, please give me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe, also jingle the bell. That'll let you know when the next video is coming. Greatly appreciate your time once again. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Ciao.